a couple of things. The first thing is that, to me, what would help a lot of businesses is being well educated about not only the cannabis field, but what cannabis has taught us overall. That I think would be more very supportive of all businesses, right? If we really do understand the entourage effect, what does that really mean? And yes, we use it in terms of cannabis, but what about our environment? That we can talk about the entourage effect, people's spirituality, going outside and grounding that also leads to health. Once we understand really the science and physiology, we can almost apply it to anything. And I'm listening to what you're saying, Amy. It is so important to start with education, right? And nothing in my mind has taught me that more than what we just spent the last 2 or 3 years going through, and that's COVID. What did we learn from COVID? What did it teach us about our health? Even healthy people got COVID and died. Why? What was going on in our environment, in our food system, in our stressors in our lives that set us up for this infection that killed thousands of people, right? We need to educate everybody, including those who are creating botanicals or creating there's so many people in the cannabis space who are in that space who know very little about the basics of why cannabis works and why they should or should not use cannabis, or why they should or should not consider psilocybin, because they're so poorly educated, including doctors. Doctors were taught the same thing the rest of folks were taught. This is a bad drug. It's a gateway drug, and they believe that. And no one's behind that more than NIH and FDA are behind whatever we were taught, pharmaceutical companies. So what I'm saying is, once we educate people about what they really need as far as their health, right now the doctors Knox are creating an immune box, right? And that immune box is to have everybody support their immune systems, so that if the next COVID come around, maybe you might get it, but it's not going to blow you off the planet, right? You're not going to be in the ICU, hopefully. It's those kinds of things, those kinds of lessons we need to learn. What is the underlying lesson here, or the silver cloud in the COVID thing, right? That's how I want people to start thinking about, and then think about how they apply that information to support their businesses and educate their clients so their businesses are sustainable, because you're giving them something that's real, something they can relate to. And you're talking about your GI system. How does cannabinoids fit in the GI system? There's cannabinoids that are specific for any inflammatory bowel disease and or colon cancer, and it's not the usual CBD and THC. It's not. So what are we learning that we can create businesses out of and scale those businesses, have sustainable businesses? It's all about education and understanding what we're doing, right? What are we doing?